has a bit of a see-through to it. So definitely, if you use a clear tip, it might show through, okay? This is my 14. And we can't pinch off the excess like how we do with square. Okay, we have to make sure it's formed around the tip because it's rounder. The tip's round now. Okay. So definitely give myself more timing here. Try a little bit more. That's my encapsulation nail. I'll do that last. Give this about 4 seconds. It's our base color. Later we'll put a nice nude on top. A nudie pink. And when you do ombre, this base right here has to be smooth. When you try to get ombre later, if it's not smooth, it's definitely gonna get caught on stuff. It won't have a consistency, okay? So it's, remember, my monomer is very wet. That's why I'm using my timing to make up for it. Make sure I have that nice bead. Always control my sidewalls. That's where your shaping is, okay? Don't let it drip all over your sidewalls. Like that. That's how we do ombre. 2-bead process. That's what I tell a lot of you guys that are doing acrylic and getting ready for ombre. Practice your 2-beading. 2-beading is definitely going to be what's going to be very helpful for you in the future, okay? Especially with ombre. Get used to doing 2 beads. 1 bead's great, but 2 beads is more efficient. Just like that. For this encapsulation, I'll do that. I'll do that right now, actually. Where to put that baggie?
Right here.
Look at these Mylars. So what I do is I'll use a course, we're going to have to break down some of this bulk later, but we should be fine. I want to make sure everything gets encapsulated. You guys can already see what it's going to look like later, right? When the top coat hits. It's going to have very multi-dimensional, very colorful. That's how you encapsulate. Glue if you have to, but you don't have to per se. Like it? Yeah, I'm just gonna cut these bits up a little bit. My scissors, the ones I have here. This bag I bought from Amazon definitely came a little bit bigger, but like I said, you can make adjustments, cut them. They don't have to be all chunky like that. Especially this bad boy. So, okay, it's 2 pieces, that's why. So we're gonna write the other one. Same thing. Take a little bit of clear. Just paste it on here. So as that clear dries very thin, as that clear dries, whatever you put on here will dry with it. So it kind of holds it in place. A lot of you guys have issues with encapsulation because you can't hold things in place. There you go. Hopefully that helps you. That's a huge piece, I don't want that. You're more welcome to put more clear if it dries up too much before you you put anything on. Remember, it has to be clear, okay? You don't want to mix any color into this while you're putting these encapsulations in. It's almost got like a Mardi Gras feel to it. The reason I like these is because they're not like solid colors. You can encapsulate these fairly easily and it just has a nice look. Should be good enough. Okay. So we're going to encapsulate the rest now with clear. I actually might do this and another set, long set soon, and like use that stained glass design.
Yeah.
I want to do like a cathedral design with this. Put this in the background and then put line designs for like a cathedral look. That looks so amazing, wouldn't it?
That'd be pretty.
Yeah. I might cut it into like stained glass shapes and use it as a stained glass design. Definitely great on longer nails for sure. Too bulky. You're encapsulating, just make sure you don't get it too bulky. You have to break it down, but definitely make sure that all your stuff that you need to be encapsulated is encapsulated. So later on when you're drilling, it's not gonna break it out, okay? Most times encapsulation nails tend to be a little bit more bulky, but you gotta remember to break that down later with the drill bit. Okay, I think I'm good there. Now I'm gonna go finish up the white and then the ombre. Gonna flip this upside down. Got a little bit of mylar in there. Did you just touch it?
No, I didn't touch it. I touched my finger.
I'm about to say. So we're gonna finish up with the white here and then finish up with ombre and then a shaping. Remember, this is very wet powder, so. Alexa, play lo-fi.
Sorry, Amazon Music stopped playing earlier because there hasn't been any
Okay,
activity
shut
on
up.
the
Just
device
play my
for
music.
several hours. The station Lo-fi hip-hop chill on Amazon Music.
So remember, this can be a little bit thinner. It doesn't have to be too thick, okay? You don't want it too thick. But you definitely want to have that coverage. Very smooth for the white. The tips are around now. That store. Nina just dropped the link. Thank you, Nina. I definitely always recommend everybody to have at least 2 boxes of tips. One natural, one clear. You don't want to consistently use clear for every type of nail. Some designs and some things you do need the natural nails. Like I prefer natural nails when I use milky white, because I know that the milky white's not going to be showed through. Because remember, milky white is mixed with clear, so if you do it too thin, you'll see through and you'll see the tips. With the natural tips, it won't take on that look. That's one of the reasons why I love using natural tips. Whenever I do solid colors like these, you don't really need a clear tips when you do a solid color. Okay, guys? So definitely have yourself the ability to swap out supplies. Don't force yourself to use clear tips all the time. Only every time I use clear tips is when I do long stilettos. It's just easier for me. But if I ever use short medium nails, I definitely use my natural tips because it has a nice taper look. I would never do tapers. You can't do taper square with a stiletto tip. You need that natural tip. These tips that I have right here, the original ones, they're perfect for medium to medium long taper square. It has a slight curve to it, but definitely will give you a nice taper look already to help you with assisting with your tapered square look. There you go. So now we're going to move right into our Nude Panther. For Ombre. This is what I should use. It's so important. There's a small bead. This Nude Panther, I know for a fact, is a little bit runnier. Basically, timing, making sure that it's the perfect consistency before you drag. You drag it too late, it's too dry, you won't get that blend. You drag it too early, it'll go all over the place because it's too wet. So definitely have to, it's all based on timing and understanding the powder, okay? For those of you guys who are doing ombre, or learning ombre. That's what ombre is all about, application and understanding. Look at the powder ratio. Ooh, this is pretty, huh? You ever done ombre before?
Mm-hmm. I love it.
have to wait until when I'm touching the powder, I'll know exactly the consistency, the timing. Okay, now I gotta pull. I don't have to wait. So once you've mastered application, it becomes so easy because you know exactly when to pull the ombre to make that perfect blend, consistent blend that you need. Definitely with my crimp brush, I'm able to clean cuticles like that. It's one of the perks of having a crimp brush over a round brush. You have to just I'll put a little bit more up here. That is it, guys. This is how you do ombre. Definitely a lot of you guys are, that's why when I say beginners, they try to do ombres, I say you're not ready for it yet. You need to practice your liquid to powder ratio, understand it, know when to do it. If you're a beginner, you jump in and you try to do ombre right away, it's not gonna work out for you. That's just the basic fact. And that's why in the beginning, before I start living, every time I see a beginner post something on groups, it's like, hey, I just started doing nails, I'm having problems with ombre. And I'm just like, oh, you have to work on your application first before you can jump. You can't just jump right into ombre. If you jump into ombre, of course you're not gonna be able to do it because it's a more advanced technique. And if you haven't mastered liquid to powder ratio yet, and their timing, of course you're not gonna be able to do ombre. It's not that you can't do it, you just can't do it yet. And they're wasting a lot of product, money, and time into it. That's why one of the reasons why I started living, because I wanted to just be nail dad mode of them, telling like, hey, you don't do that. You'll get there. It just takes time. Don't jump around. So simple as that for ombre. Thank you, Ima. I'm in Orlando. So pretty much no beginner in this industry is gonna be able to do ombre. Efficient ombre. The ombre that they see, the ombre they want. That's just the truth of it. Because this technique is fairly easy, but it needs you to have firm understanding of liquid to powder ratio. Also, powder control. You have to be very soft-handed when you do these ombres. If you push too hard, you're gonna drag the powder all over the place. See, I'll know exactly when to drag. Just by touching, you see how I nudge that powder? While I'm nudging that powder, what I'm doing is I'm actually getting up to the cuticle, but I'm also timing it. Okay, how does this powder feel? Is it good enough to me drag yet? Is it too wet, too dry? And you get that perfect, when you understand when the powder is perfect, that's when you drag. That's when you'll be able to get consistent mastery of ombre. Just look at how I do it, guys. Look at my beginning steps, how I put the bead, how I'm nudging it towards the cuticle area so it doesn't flood. And the moment I drag, the ombre is perfect, right? Everybody's like, oh, now Dad, you make it look so easy. Yes, I do. I make it look easy because it can be easy. As long as you listen to me. Liquid to powder ratio control, timing, and definitely practice with the brush so you are very gentle with it. This is how easy it is to do ombre, guys. It's not hard. But once you get the prerequisite of all those techniques that you will learn through application, then you'll be able to do it flawlessly like how I'm doing it. Almost muscle memory. This is why ombre was the first technique that I mastered. As simple as that. One finger can take you a minute. Okay? Now that's done. I'm gonna put a little bit of clear on the ombre. You like it? Mm-hmm. Good morning, Kristen. How are you? So now what I do is I put a little bit of clear to encapsulate my perfect ombre just where I need it. Right where the ombre meets. It's very thin, okay? So later on when I drill or buff, whatever, I don't get into the ombre. I used the perfect amount of monomer, look. Just ran out. Ombre, you have to be consistent too. You gotta drag it in a way where it's gonna be even, each nail is gonna have the same amount of ombre. So yes, in the beginning you might have a little bit issue with having it maybe too long, too short, whatever, but eventually you'll get it, okay? And that's why I say ombre is about application, timing. Timing means being able to understand the powder. Is it drying too fast? Is it drying too slow? Do I have to move faster or not? This and that. That's all in that. And in that, you will be able to do great application, timing, and everything in your nails. It's possible, guys. Just takes practice. I do have the YouTube video. I'll show you guys how to do liquid to powder ratios and stuff. Please do watch that in my YouTube, my very first tutorial. Today I'll be doing some more tutorials, okay? Yeah, soak that brush a little bit. Use the perfect amount of I use the perfect amount of monomer completely out. So I'm gonna clean this, and I'm gonna use new monomer for my next set. Okay, now we go to the shaping again. And zoom out a little bit for you guys. Then we go through and we shape again. Just a little bit of rough draft. So why I don't get a lot of control my sidewalls, shaping so much easier. You guys see that? There's not that much powder, so for my whatever I shape on my tips is still there. I'm basically cleaning out some of the sides. I know I'm going to go back through and clean this up later on when I do my final shaping. So definitely don't spend too much time on it, okay guys? Split out your shaping time because I always go back through and reshape, finishing shape before I do top coat and all that stuff. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit of pre-shaping. Do my cuticles, break down any bulk I need to break down, which is not much. Then I go back through shape again, then top coat or design, and I finish. Because my application is nice and smooth and even, I don't have a lot to file on the sides. If your application is a little bit more rough and you need to, you know, file more on the sidewalls, definitely that will be more rough. That's why application is the one thing that help out every process of the nail process. It's the main thing actually. You want to increase your speed, work on your application. Once it becomes better, everything else will just follow suit. Cute. What's that brush you're using acrylic on the nails? I use this. I use my 14 brush. You guys remember my brushes are a little bit bigger and definitely they're crimped. So. My line of brush anyway, so they may be a little bit different than the brushes you have or the brushes that are on the market right now. Not a lot of people crimp brushes because they're scared that you can't use it and you try to return it, or like, oh hey, because once you crimp the brush, you're making a modification to it. So that's why I tell you guys all that I crimp my brushes in case you guys do want a brush and you're like, oh, I didn't want it crimped. Definitely they are crimp brushes. So if you want a crimp brush, I'll sell it to you. But if you don't want a crimp brush, definitely I can't help you with that. So the way I crimp it, I don't go too crazy on it. I give you a little bit of ability to train your brushes to the crimpness you like. My brushes are going to be a little bit more crimped because I train it. Every set I do, I flatten it, start standing up, so slowly it gets to the flatness that I like. So for you, you can do that yourself too. Like maybe you don't like it that flat, maybe you just want a little bit of flatness so that you can get around the cuticle area, but you do like the roundness, that's fine too. Just train your brush the way you like it, okay? So now just pre-shaping, okay? We're not gonna try to get a perfect shape now. We're just trying to get kind of a rough draft before we do our final draft, which is later after I do the cuticle work. Hey, when Tapo hits this is gonna come out. It's gonna be like, hello? And the man started dropping stuff. So I'm using a small barrel medium cross diamond drill bit to do my cuticle area. Right. Very sharp. This is the carbide, okay? It's sharp for a reason. Lets me get into the cuticle area, very gritty. Remember I have that clear over my nail? Definitely gives me the ability to just rough it a little bit. Not too much, because if I break out that clear, I'm gonna eat into my ombre and it's not gonna look good, okay? My main concern now is the cuticle area. That's where all the lips will happen. Just nice, lightly, because my ombre is there. So I'm basically drilling the clear out to even it out. There you go. This one's different because we definitely have encapsulation here. It's a little bit bulkier. Break down that bulk from the encapsulation. There's not much because I was pretty careful with it. So the excess cuticle earlier that I pushed up, I'm cutting out now. You guys notice? go. Right before my encapsulation. Perfect. It's gonna be so, that finger's gonna be so blinked. Not blinked, but like almost like a glass slip. You see how flush the cuticles are? That's why I don't clip the cuticles. It's useful later. You need that cuticle there so when you do intensive drilling, it's gonna be. What are you doing? Oh, she's talking to us. I was like, the receptionist just sitting there. I was like, remember, I don't want to drill too much. I only put it thin clear. So however amount of clear you guys put on, you guys gotta make sure you be careful. You over drill, boom. Last thing you want to do is drill off that perfect ombre that you work so hard to achieve, okay? Just very light with the drill there. Use the weight, don't use pressure. Most of the time your application is good, you never have to use any pressure to drill. You just use the weight of the drill, it's so much smoother. Just like that. That. Ooh, it's cold.
Yeah.
I don't know why the AC runs so hard in here. It's like an icebox or something. I literally gotta turn off the AC. It's because the vent's right there. Next time, bring a blanket and a snuggie.
Yeah.
A snuggie. Remember snuggies?
Yes, I do.
Onesies. There you go.
Next time I'll wear my winter Crocs.
Heck yeah, coming here with Uggs. Knowing you, that time you come in, the AC is gonna be down, but you'll be like, God dang it, I'm sweating. Cuticle work is very, very hard. Definitely a technique thing. Definitely muscle memory. Okay, guys? Your hands remember how to do cuticle work more consistently. Start slow and use a safety bit. Don't use the carbide like I'm using if you're new to it. And definitely be careful. Okay? You don't want to cut yourself or other people. Professor, my nail shape changes or is not shaped in the week that I'm not applying enough acrylic. Your nail shape changes. That means that it's just wear and tear. Nail shape changes all the time. Sometimes you have a nice crisp coffin, within 2 weeks it's going to be worn out because they're going to use their hands and it's going to, it changes. Like I said, shape changes over time. It's just wear and tear. Just like they're using their hands a lot and it just wears down the corners or something like that. Nothing has to do with you applying enough. You can apply thick acrylic and have really nice crisp shape, but it could definitely change within 2-3 weeks if the client's using their hands, typing, whatever they're doing. That's just normal. There's nothing that has to do with you. Shape changing is a normal thing, a normal occurrence. No client's gonna come back with crispy nails like when you first do it. I wish. I mean, if the client has a filer that consistently filing every day or something, yeah. maybe. Remember, this is our encapsulation nail, so we're definitely gonna break this down a little bit more than all the other ones, but we didn't put too much clear in it, so we're good. This nail's gonna be cute as hell. We're almost done here. Definitely reshape and just top coat. Very nice ombres. Ombre is definitely never gonna die out. It's one of the designs that's gonna consistently stay strong in our nail industry. Everybody loves ombre. Ombre ties in so many designs so well. That's why I loved it. When Ombre first came out, that's the one thing I was like, okay, I need to master this right away. So I spent almost 8 hours a day, guys, doing ombres. If I'm not working on clients on ombre, I'm doing it like on a practice tip, getting my timing down, my consistency down to make sure that my ombre is perfect. And that's where I am today, where I can consistently do any other color ombre I want. Like black, red ombres I can do, definitely a little bit harder. But like most ombres, like nudes, pinks, and whites, are definitely a little bit easier to do for beginners, very beginner friendly. But when you move on to color ombres, like dark neon colors and stuff as base, might be a little bit harder because you definitely have to have more control of the powder because it's more pigmented for one. This, like nudes and pinks, light pinks and cover nudes and cover pinks, they're a little bit more forgiving when you're dragging too much, so it's a little bit more sheer. But if you do like a neon color on top, oof, you need to have that proper control. Okay, so now I'm gonna finish up with the shaping, a little bit of shaping. Remember how I said that shape changes when thickness changes. This is my final draft. When I'm done shaping here, that's it. I'm buffing and I'm gonna go right into top coating. That's why I didn't want to focus too much time earlier on shaping yet. Unfortunately, there's no pre-shape almond shape, huh? Tips. Remember, almond you bring it to a point, but it has to be rounded. Not too stiletto, not too pointy. And these we shape ourselves from their square natural tips. It may seem redundant to go shape multiple times, guys, but this is worth it, trust me. A lot of you guys have issues where you say, oh, my shape, I lost my shape. Why is that? It's because when you drill, you change the thickness, the shape is automatically gonna be lost, okay? You gotta go back through and do some finishing touches. May take you a few more minutes, but definitely will make your set look a lot better, okay? Ooh, the AC running, you hear that? You got scared, huh? You're like, oh no.
I know, because I can't even like ball up.
Okay. Got mom nails now.
Yes, honey.
Yeah, almond's definitely a little bit hard for people too, because you guys don't know when to stop it from being stiletto and when it turns into round. I know it's weird. Remember, almond definitely has to be elongated. When I say elongated, it means it needs length. You need length to bring it out, okay? So a client gets nails too short, you cannot do almond. You gotta tell them, you can't, this is short. I have to elongate the shape out. Your nails are too short, I can't do almond. A lot of clients will come in and they want almond short nails, it just doesn't look good. It has to be elongated out. You have to tell them as a professional, listen, this shape is not for you if you want short nails. I can attempt it, but it's not gonna look good. Never force yourself to do a shape or a design that you can't do that is gonna make your work look bad, okay? Tell the client, switch it up, do what you gotta do. I probably do almond once in a blue moon. A lot of my clients are like, stiletto, coffin, taper.
I'll be the blue moon.
You'll be the blue moon? Well, thanks for reading my blue moon. Yeah, make sure it's not too round either. That's the thing about almond. Is it too round? Is it too sharp? What is it? Such a unique shape. That and almond and ballerina. Those two shapes. Lord. If I have problems with it, you guys have problems with it. There you go. Okay, now I'm going to buff and top coat and we're done. Always buff underneath, okay? I really hate it when there's stuff underneath the nail. Get all the excess off nice and clean. You don't want any jagged edges that will catch on your client's clothes or whatever. Rip their clothes or even cut them when they cut your kids or something like that. sir. Okay, wash your hands. My dust collector towel. What's the ballerina shape? Ballerina is between a stiletto and a coffin. So basically it comes out like a stiletto, that it kind of curves just right at the tip. It's so hard to visualize, and it's hard to explain either. Ballerina, definitely not a lot of people know, not even a lot of techs even know what ballerina is, to be honest with you. A lot of techs are still new to that shape. They don't understand it. When a client that has gotten it before and try to explain it to them, they're like, oh, it's like a coffin, but then it's sharp at the tip, this and that. It's so hard for techs to visualize it. So unless you've done it before, it's definitely very hard. And definitely, like I said, almond and ballerina are definitely those two shapes. Basically, it's a coffin, and then as it comes out, it has like a slight curve at the tip. And if you do it right, it looks great. If you do it wrong, it doesn't look right. So yeah, shaping, there's a variety of shapes. And definitely not every client, their length of nail is gonna match their shape, you know? So you gotta tell them, hey, this shape doesn't look good for you. I always make sure that the nail is nice and dry with a paper towel. I recommend using lint free, but whatever. Because nice thin coat of no wipe top coat. Glass look.
Introvert. Outrovert.
Is that your personality right
Yeah.
there? Pretty much?
Yeah.
Personality nails. There you go. I love Ombre so much. It's just so clean and classy. It's one of the looks that will never die out. I'm glad. When Ombre retires, I'll retire too. I'll tell you that right now. The day that Ombre becomes like who does the Ombres anymore? That's when I retire. You can switch. There you go. A nice little medium short almond with an encapsulation, colorful nail ombre. Thank you guys for joining me today.
So pretty.
I love this like Mylar because it changes colors where different angles you go. This is the almond, my almond, medium short almond. I say my almond because like I say, every time you see almond, it's always maybe different from other people. But my main goal is I want you guys to see is the cuticle area. You see? The flushness. this will never lift, okay? Right here, this will never lift. And you guys will get here. This consistency, this cuticle work, it never lift. Okay, there you go. Of course, here we go, another one. Consistency in the cuticle work. That's the one thing I want you guys to see, that this is where the lifting happens. If it's that flush, it will never lift. Okay? Never. When it grows out, it's gonna grow out just like that.